Hello student, myself Dr. Rajesh De. I am going to take a class under your family practical guide on environment today. So now we are going to study of environment and housing of the family. Introduction. Environment has a direct impact on the physical, mental and social well-being of those living in it. The environmental factors range from housing, water supply, waste disposal, psychological stress and family structure through social and economic support system to the organization of health and social welfare services in the community. Much of the ill health in India is due to the environmental conditions, that is unsafe water, polluted soil with unhygienic disposal of human excreta and refuse, poor housing, insects and rodents, etc. The high death rate like infant mortality rate, sickness rate and poor standards of health are in fact largely due to defective environmental sanitation. Improvement of environmental sanitation is thus crucial to the prevention of disease and promotion of health of individuals and communities. Therefore, as a first step, it is very essential to assess the existing status of those environmental factors that are basic and fundamental to individual, family, and community health. For descriptive purpose, the environment of man has been divided into three components: physical, biological, and psychological. Physical environment means air, water, soil, housing, waste, such as refuse and human excreta, etc. Biological environment means microbiological agents, insects, rodents, etc. And psychological environment includes cultural values, customs, habits, beliefs, attitude, religion, education, lifestyle, community life, health services, social and political organizations. Now, what are the learning objectives? At the end of this class, you all will be able to understand the concept of environment, its different components and environmental sanitation. You will be able to understand the role of different environmental factors in causation and spread of different disease. Able to collect information regarding different environmental factors. You will analyze and comment on the existing environmental situation, and you will be able to suggest measures to improve environmental sanitation. So this class is very much important for all of you regarding your family practical class. Now coming to the next part of the class. Before going to filling the data collection form, you all should know some guidelines which are very much necessary for filling up the schedule for assessing the environmental conditions of the family. At the beginning, we are going to discuss about the housing, the types of housing. The housing may be pakka house, kacha house, mixed house. Pakka house means its floor is paved, walls either stone or brick built, and roof is concrete made. Kacha house means floor is made up of packed earth, walls is by dried mud or thatched, roof is thatched, slate or other stones, or having tin, asbestos. And mixed house means this is the combination of these two types of mentioned house, that is floor may be paved, walls may be stone or brick built, but the roof may be thatched, slate or other stones or tin or asbestos. And usually in your data in your family practical area, that is allotted usually in Bagbazar slum area, you will find the most of the house usually are mixed. Now the setback area, what do you mean by setback area? Setback area is a open space all around the house, and it is for the proper lighting and ventilation and for the house, and it may be present or may not be present in case of all the allotted families to you, but it should be present because it helps in proper lighting and ventilation of that house. So this is called setback area. Now coming to the overcrowding, this is the most important part of your study regarding environment, because overcrowding is the main cause of many disease occurrence and transmission like viral disease, bacterial disease. In present scenario, you all know about that COVID-19, which is rapidly spreading in the overcrowded area. And it's not only this COVID-19, the other many viral disease or bacterial disease like tuberculosis may spread in the overcrowded area. So overcrowding is present or not, it should be identified by you during your data collection period or during your family visit. Now, how we identify that overcrowding is present or not? So before going that, we have to learn about some criteria which indicates that there is overcrowding present or not. So among these, there are three main criteria exist. Number one, persons per room. The degree of overcrowding can be best expressed as the number of persons per room. That is the number of persons in the household divided by the number of rooms in the dwelling. Next criteria is floor space. If the per capita floor space is less than 50 square feet, then overcrowding is said to be present. Here one point is to be noted, that a baby under 12 months is not counted. Children between 1 to 10 years counted as half a unit. Suppose in your allotted family there are two adult members, that is husband and wife, and one child aged 12 years, another child aged 8 years, and another child aged 6 months. Then when you calculate the floor space for identifying the overcrowding, you have to calculate the 6 months baby as 0, and the child whose age is 8 years, you have to counted it as half unit, and rest of the three members you have to counted as 3 unit. That is total there are 3.5 unit, and you have to divide the total floor space with this 3.5 unit to calculate the per capita floor space. Next, coming to the sex separation or moral overcrowding. It is considered to exist if two persons over 9 years of age, not husband and wife by relation, of opposite sexes are obliged to sleep in the same room. If now when we say that overcrowding is present or not, the mentioned among these three mentioned criteria, if one has been present, that is persons per room or floor space or sex separation, then we will call that overcrowding present. Next, coming to the ventilation. The ventilation also has the same role regarding the disease transmission and the disease incidence. the same viral disease or bacterial disease or any dermatological condition may be due to the ill ventilated environment of the family. And in some family you will find that there are this type of certain communicable diseases are more frequent, and their ventilation of their room is or their house is very poor. So for identification of the health of the family, ventilation is also a very much important point. So unless mechanical ventilation and artificial lighting are provided, every living room should be provided with at least two windows, and at least one of them should open directly on to an open space. Keep it in mind. The windows should be placed at a height of not more than 3 feet, 1 meter above the ground in living rooms. And the most important point in ventilation is window area should be 1 feet of the floor area, or doors and windows combined should have 2/5 of the floor area. If it is not fulfill the criteria, then you may tell that the ventilation of the room is very poor. Now coming to the lighting. Lighting is also important. Ill-lighted room may cause different ophthalmic problem to the family members. So lighting is also important. After opening all the doors and windows of the room, if you able to read the smallest letter of the newspaper at the center of the room without any artificial light, then you say natural light is adequate. That is, when you visit to the family, first you should switch off all the artificial light, then you should open all the windows and the doors, and at the middle of the room, if you able to read the smallest letter of the newspaper, then you may tell that the lighting of the room is adequate. Now discussion part, some point regarding guidelines part regarding this schedule has been discussed. Now coming to the schedule, that is the part you will feel during your family visit. So at first, housing site, you should look for the site is elevated or not elevated. Then setback area, if it is present or not. Then approach road. Approach road means from main road to the allotted house is narrow or not narrow. Now you have to identify the type of house, that is either it is pakka, kacha or mixed. Next, ownership, either it is owned or rented or free. Free means in Bagbajar slum area you will find some family who are staying that house for a very long time, and then the present head of the family is not paying any rent to anyone, but it is not actually their own house, but they are not paying rent to anyone at this moment. This type of house may be called free. Next, you have to assess the overcrowding. For that reason, you have to collect the data regarding number of living rooms, total area of the living rooms, that is floor space. Then you have to calculate the per unit floor space, percent per room, and sex separation is present or not. And lastly, you have to comment about the overcrowding, that is overcrowding present or not. Next, you have to assess the ventilation. You have to calculate the combined windows and door space area. You have to calculate the combined windows and door space area in respect to the total floor space area, and you have to check that cross ventilation is present or absent. And lastly, you have to comment on ventilation, that is ventilation adequate or inadequate. Now you have to assess the lighting of the house, that is lighting adequate or inadequate. Coming to the next part of the environment, that is the kitchen section of the house. You have to first look that kitchen is present in separate room or in living room or in veranda. Then type of the fuel used for cooking, you have to identify the coal, wood, LPG, kerosene oil, electric heater and other, because there is a indirect relation to the health of the family member regarding the fuel used. That is, if they use coal or wood, then it creates a smoke, and these smokes contains lots of carbon particle, and which may be deposited to the lungs, causing to the interstitial problems of the interstitial lungs disease or pulmonary fibrosis, or the smoke related pulmonary diseases. If they use kerosene oil, then it has it may be used for the intoxication. If may use electric heater, there is a chance of electrocution and etc. etc. For that reason, you have to identify the type of the fuel used, and you have to identify there is smoke nuisance present or not. You have to look into the storage of the food pattern of the house, where they are storing their raw food and their cooked food. Cooked food is storage either in fridge or in open space. It has been covered or not. Raw food is storage in open space or in closed space, etc. etc. And you have to make comment according to that. Next, the drainage system of the house. You have to comment on drainage system around the house. That is, there is the drain around the house either covered or not. Drainage of the household wastewater. That is, household wastewater has been draining in a good way or in a ill drainage system is present for draining of the household wastewater. Is there any breeding places of mosquitoes? Is there any fly nuisance or any rodent nuisance? Next, water supply of the family. Firstly, you have to identify the source of water for drinking purpose, for cooking purpose, for washing or bathing purpose. It may be tube well or tap, that is domestic public. It may be pond, it may be river, and it may be any other source. Whichever you will find, you have to tick that point. Now, you have to know the distance of the drinking water source from the house if it is present outside the house. Now you have to ask about the duration of supply, that is, it is continuous or intermittent, and then you have to ask about the adequacy of supply, that is adequate or inadequate. Regarding this adequacy of supply, you have to solely depend upon the response of the responder of the family, because you will not able to measure the adequacy of the supply. It is not possible practically. So whatever they will say, you have to just tick in your data collection sheet. Next, observe and comment on how people draw, carry and store water in house, and how they draw water from pitchers and containers. In this pitchers and containers, then next you have to identify the type of containers, that they are using plastic or non-plastic containers for storage of the water, and the containers are covered or not covered or narrow mouth. Next, you have to look into the fact that hand dipping present or not while drawing water from storage, because if hand dipping present, there is a chance of cross infection from hand to the water, and it may lead to the ill health to the other family member, also including mm, the head of the family members and also including the other family member. And next, you have to identify the is drinking water given any special treatment and household like boiling or domestic filtration, that is filter is present or not, if chlorination is done or not. Chlorination means they are in the market small chlorine pouch in the liquid form. Uh, Liquid form, it has been found in the market, and if they use this liquid chlorine for the disinfection of their drinking water, so you have to identify that. Next, coming to the excreta disposal, that is latrine present or absent. If it is present, then it is within house or outside house. If it is outside house, then ask them for the distance of the latrine from their house. Then you have to identify the type of the latrine, that is it is sanitary or not sanitary latrine, and the latrine is personal or community, and if it is community, then total number of users. Next, you have to ask about the family members for their defecation, that is where do family members go to defecate, that is they using sanitary latrine or open field or others. If any others, then you have to specify the point. And next, you have to ask about the family member that where they dispose child's stool. And next, you ask about the arrangement of regular cleaning of the latrine. If yes, then how many times they are cleaning their latrine in a week or in a month. Next, come to the refuse disposal. You have to ask how do people dispose of refuse, that is they throw indiscriminately anywhere, or they are using common pit. Common pit, that means a common area where all the household refuse has been collected, and after a certain time all these has been thrown or has been put in the municipality vat, or they are collecting it is a container, or they are burning it or composting it, or they are directly disposing this refuse to the municipal vat or municipal van. Then you have to ask about the kitchen waste, that is how is the kitchen waste disposed, the solid kitchen waste, also the sewage, that is liquid kitchen waste. And you have also asked about the disposal of the sanitary napkins. And next, another important points, you have to look into the house, that is there any chance of accident hazards, that is there any loose plug point, or it is in the reach of the children, or is fan is hanging from the ceiling very loosely, or is there any torn electric wire, or is there any cooking material or LPG gas oven is not fitted well in the cooking area, or is there any old almirah, or is there any old table which are going to break or near to break, like that. And if you find any accident hazards, you have to mention in your data collection sheet properly. Lastly, you have to identify another problems which we have discussed throughout the class. During the class, we have not discussed throughout the class, then you have to identify those extra problems and you have to mention it in the last portion of your data collection sheet in a bullet points. So thank you students. Today this is up to this, and in your next class I will discuss the knowledge and practice regarding some non-communicable and communicable diseases of their family members allotted to you. Thank you. Have a good day.